Here we are.
Well, happy day after your birthday, Ed. You
Happy
have a
day.
hangover?
No, sir.
No,
sir. I had the 1 ounce of scotch there.
1 ounce of scotch.
Ooh, I had a hard time getting out of bed this morning after that 1 ounce of scotch.
Did you know you're wearing purple glasses?
No.
No?
No,
Can
I'm
you
not.
see what my T-shirt says?
It says Namaste. No, okay, what does it say?
It says, Namaste, bitch!
Okay, I don't see that.
Namaste, bitch!
Bitch.
No. Bitch!
No. Bitch.
That's not bitch.
Yeah, bitch.
It's Namaste, bitch!
I see the Namaste,
Yeah?
but I don't see
it's
the
clever bitch.
I see
it's
bit,
like
bit-
without actually
Oh, yeah.
saying, walking around with a shirt so vulgar
Yeah,
that it says
yeah.
Namaste, bitch.
You know what?
This is kinda clever, interpretive.
that there's a line of Bulgari, but it's BV.
Yeah.
It's Bitchgary.
Well, Pretium Mining.
Bitchgary.
Where's the U in Pretium Mining?
I always thought Bulgari was a brand, but it's Bitchgary.
Bulgar. I've never been able
All
to
right.
understand that
I
stuff.
know.
Have you been
Bulgari.
into our washroom on our floor lately today?
Did someone forget to flush?
No, I think somebody has a sprinkler for a penis. It's a mess in there. I don't know what we got, like it's just insane. Seriously, it's a mess all around the urinal. It's like somebody just what? Why bother putting in a urinal? Why don't you just it was gross.
You know what? Really?
Anyways, we got to complain to the building about that. Just saying.
All right.
Just saying.
Okay, so let's just take a look here.
You want to take a look at some of the action in the bullpen?
Well, the big action today, the big winner today on my list. You got a list. The Midas Letter's got a list. Everybody's got a list, so Ed's got a list too.
Because your kiss is on my list. Because your kiss.
No, it's on my mist. Your kiss is on my mist.
Because your kiss.
I like rhymes.
Anyways, yeah. What? So who was the big winner today? Look at Huge is 71 cents.
Yeah, drifting.
Nothing big happening there.
Well, the big one
Canada House
is
Wellness making a small recovery from yesterday up a penny.
Alevia's up big today.
Alethea?
Well,
Alethea.
I said Did they come in today?
No, he canceled. There was some family issue, and
Okay.
no, we're not going to see him today. I'm pretty sure he's pissed off. He heard you shorted his stock and drove it down just to cover your.
I never. Jesus. You know what? I went long this morning.
Did you?
Now, is he happy again?
No, he hasn't heard yet.
Well,
he's just tuning into the show.
I walked in this morning. I bought it on the open.
Did you? What did you really?
I bought it at 267.
Really?
I think I told you that if it was down sharply,
You
I was
did.
buying.
You
If
did.
it was up sharply, I was selling.
And now you're up already.
I sold it.
So you're making stock.
I'm
you're
just
making money on
printing,
this stock
printing.
every day.
Yeah.
Printing money. Is that what you're doing?
I'm printing money. Yeah.
That's impressive.
That's a good job to have, printing money.
Printing money. Do you
Anybody
get paid
wanna-
for that? Do you get paid for printing
You
money?
get to take the money you print.
So you don't actually get paid.
You don't get paid.
You get to keep
You
the
get to
fruits of
keep
your labor.
The fruits of your labor.
Not a bad deal.
I like
that. That's not bad.
I like printing money.
I like that. Did you see the press release on Juju today? Update. It was an update.
An update.
An update. Basically announcing that there has been an acceleration in the warrants, which I guess is good news.
Okay, so
More
that
money in
means
the company.
so they're going to get more money brought in the company. Now, are those warrants that are being accelerated?
Yeah.
You
They're forcing
exercised. I say accelerate. We're close.
We're getting there.
Close.
Not bad.
So the
anyway,
question.
so the stock's up 2 cents today.
Here's the question I have: the people that put money up for those warrants, can they sell those shares? Are those shares still restricted?
You have asked too much information of me. I do not know. All I saw was the press release. I scanned the paragraph that said there's warrants.
It'd be nice to get someone on this show that knows something.
That's why we have guests who we interview.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, well, that's why we have you.
Oh, sorry. That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Jesus.
That's what we brought you in for.
Now I'm really confused.
Nobody knows what they're talking about. Anyways, today on the show, we're going to have Mark Selby. He's the CEO of Royal Nickel, which if you haven't been watching that, they've been finding boulders the size of small cars on their property, laden with gold.
Apparently, it's caused the price of gold to drop because now they find that there's an extra
that much more supply.
Few ounces of gold out there.
I know. That's risky.
Yeah, the stock got up to about $1.18, I think, or maybe
Yeah.
$1.20, and now it's back to 80 cents.
I bought a little today, yeah.
Really? So what's Mark saying?
Well, We'll let him do the talking for himself. I don't know if they're ready for that in the control room. Are you ready? All right, here's Mark Selby from Royal Nickel right now. Hey, welcome back. My guest this segment is Mark Selby, President and CEO of Royal Nickel Corp, trading on the TSX under the symbol RNX. Mark, welcome to our show.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, so the big buzz, the big news is this big boulder that apparently grades 9,000 grams per ton gold.
Yep.
Where did that come from?
Yeah, we think a once in a lifetime discovery that we're going to find multiple times. We pull out 24,000 ounces of gold from the size of your living room.
That's incredible. So I'm assuming that there is a logical, geological explanation for all of this.
Yeah, no, we're quite lucky. The mine historically had found these high-grade high-grade gold specimens underneath the nickel contact. We're mining about 150 meters down where there's a sediment layer that goes across the entire property. And so for the first time in that layer is where we hit this 24,000 ounces.
Yeah.
And so we have the opportunity with 4 shears, multiple kilometers. There's lots of room to find a lot more of these living rooms.
So just to be clear,
Yeah.
this is you're mining for nickel.
Yeah, we bought this as a nickel mine, but we really like the exploration potential. That was
Sure.
what we bought it for, was the gold exploration potential.
Okay, so you're mining for nickel underground, you bump into vertical shears that are mineralized with gold.
Yep.
And you just decide, hey, let's take a look at that, and boom, you've got this massive gold.
Yeah. Well, we've been mining there for about 2 years,
Okay.
and so we had just got down to the level where these gold shears had existed historically. The sample I've got there, you'd pull out 500-600 ounces from underneath every little nickel sulfide lens, and it was being the first company down at this level anywhere in the district is where we hit the sulfide layer and found this 24,000 ounces. And
Sure. Wow, so if I was to use some of those rudimentary calculators that are out there, which I have done, you keep coming up with a figure like 8 million ounces of gold, which I realize would be a forward-looking statement to get you to comment on.
Right.
But suffice to say, there is ample reason to be optimistic about continuing great mineralized pieces of gold like this
Yes.
showing up.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, either we got really, really lucky and hit the only 5 meters
Sure.
across 2 kilometers that had this gold,
Yep.
or we're going to find a lot more of it as we explore along that strike length. Then we've got 4 shears to be able to go and do the same thing again.
Okay.
To give you the idea, the potential is that rock there comes from 3 kilometers away from where we made this discovery.
Wow, that is promising. So are you fully capitalized? Is your mining operation profitable?
Yeah, so at this point in time, with the 24,000 ounces, that's going to deliver almost 35 million in cash.
Right.
We had warrant exercises this week, which we announced that there was another $8 million of cash in the treasury. So, we're fully cashed up, and we're going to be, doing lots of exploration.
What was the warrant exercise price?
50 cents.
50 cents.
Yeah.
Okay, so that explains why there was such a rush up to $1.15 and
Yeah.
lots of supply to bring it lower. But obviously, this is potentially a long-term development story now in a
Yep.
gold setting
Yep.
that's born out of a nickel setting.
Yes.
That's really interesting. So is there any reason why continuing nickel operations would interfere with pivoting to the gold exploitation?
Well, we've wound down most of the nickel already and
yeah.
focused most of the people on the gold to start with. So, that's, we're going to just, basically continue to focus on that high grade area, hopefully pull out ounces as we move
Right.
forward, and then we'll drill those structures.
So with minor modifications, you could have your infrastructure ready to mine the gold
Yep.
right away because all the infrastructure is in place from when you were mining nickel.
Yeah, we inherited 5 kilometers worth of ramp system,
Wow.
which is literally sitting at the top of the gold structures.
Well,
so
I
that
wish
was
I
one of
could
the key
inherit
things.
something like that. Interesting. Okay, so then what is the immediate sort of agenda in terms of exploitation, exploration?
Yeah, there's going to be 2 key focuses. One is obviously continuing to mine in the area that we found the 24,000 ounces. The nature of these deposits is you're not going to hit it every time.
Right.
But we expect to be able to find more ounces as we go forward, and that'll provide the cash we need to continue the exploration. And then the second big thrust will be drill.
Have you conducted any metallurgical studies?
Oh, the nice thing is, again, we've been mining this for a while, and we've run it
you've
through.
already been mining the gold.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
we've been processing it at several different mills. So 92 to 94% recovery depending on the mill.
And what's your cash cost of production?
Well, I mean, on this stuff, I mean, we'll see where the quarter ends. It'll be very,
much
very
does it
low.
cost to go like this?
Well, literally, I mean, of that, the tons we mined, they'll
Yeah.
end up grading probably over 100 ounces a ton, and most of that gold came from just over a ton of material that was hand-picked. So you're looking at what we shipped to the Perth Mint directly. It was direct ship gold ore.
Right.
Was 40 to 50% gold.
Wow, that's fascinating. So we can expect a very low cost of
Yes.
production in that respect. Okay, so then what is happening right now on site, and what's happening in the weeks ahead?
Yeah, so right now, I mean, again, once you get the lens right in terms of how the structures are there, you start looking back at various pieces of data which may not have looked connected before, but now you can start to connect the dots. And so, the release this week was sort of the one of those connect the dots. There's more dots to come in terms of being able to understand where these structures are sitting. And as I said, we're going to continue to mine in that area, and so we'll just mine in that area, and then on our A zone and western flank structures, we're going to mobilize. We've got one drill coming next week, and we'll continue to add drills through the fourth quarter, and it'll be just a matter of drilling these structures off to build out the resource. So. We're quite excited. We've always believed this mine had a lot of exploration potential. We had trouble raising the capital to be able to explore it properly. We obviously now have
Sure,
have
as
that
much as
capital
you need.
coming in. Exactly.
Now you're self-capitalizing.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what is it? I mean, how many shares do you have outstanding right now?
Right now, we're about total dilute is about 480.
480 million.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not exactly a lean, mean machine.
No.
And how many of those shareholders are sort of legacy from the nickel mining days?
Yeah, so we've got sort of one core shareholder group that is about 25 to 30% of the story.
Would that be Mr. Sprott?
No, there's no one individual in that group because it's over 9.9. And then Sprott reported earlier last week that he was up over 10%. So.
Wow. Okay, so he's accumulating. Interesting. So I mean, it seems almost a silly question. What are the catalysts for the next 12 months? It's like find more gold, obviously.
Yeah.
I've been dealing with too many cannabis guys. I
Right.
got to look for catalysts that imply value.
Right.
This is just a matter of finding more value.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, let's leave it there, Mark. That was an excellent interview. We'll come back to you in a quarter's time if you have time.
Yeah.
And you can show me more of these beautiful gold rocks.
That'd be great. Yeah, and hopefully we'll have lots of bright, shiny rocks to show you.
Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you.
What do you think? What's going on with my hair today, Ed?
Bad hair day.
Yeah.
You ever heard that? Bad hair day?
I hear about it every other day.
Hear about it.
I
hear about it.
I heard about that.
I heard
I
about
heard
it.
you having a bad hair day.
So what I don't. You know what? Unfortunately,
You own any of that?
no. But I'm.
I bought some this morning. I'm long. Long.
So what are they saying that there's more of these boulders out there? Like what?
Yeah, they're basically saying they're mining it by picking up the rocks that fall out of these vertical,
What is
shear
the
zones.
what is the what is the geological explanation for this kind of dramatic find?
Ed, are you going to make me make shit up again?
Yep.
Okay.
wanna
Well,
see-
it's
I
a
wanna see it get out. I
stratigraphically
wanna-
controlled shear zone that's in the contact.
Well, James,
contact
you've
with the
considered
nickel
yourself a
zone, and
part-time
the,
geologist. I got a
Laborites
couple
are coming up
questions.
through the plutons,
Yeah,
and the
sure.
plutons in the basalts are
they stalactites
interfering
or
right across with the Icenian
staglatites?
aged rocks.
Or stalactites?
There, you understand now?
Boy, I'm glad I asked that question.
Anyways, let's look at the medical marijuana section right now.
I need a drink.
The only Ed, you've been eating a drink for a week or two. now.
Only at 19 days. What am I going to do?
What do we see here, Ed? 19 days. Are you boasting or are you complaining?
Well, I had a shot of scotch, but that's it.
So if
You don't count-
shot of scotch yesterday, ounce of wine the day before that. You're on a slippery slope, my friend. We're going to have an
no,
intervention.
the wine
here.
was,
Control room. It's time for an Ed intervention.
Ed intervention. Ed, you're not drinking enough.
That's it. Ed, we're very concerned about your drinking habits. You're not drinking enough.
Too early to tell, but I got to tell you, if this market turns into a bear market, this bubble,
Yeah.
because we've got some good drops here, 4% in the big boy.
Yeah.
And that's with Tilray up. Well, Tilray's not on the list, is it?
Tilray is not on the list because it's not a Canadian traded company.
it's Canadian.
And plus, you know what? I'm glad it's not on the list because that index would be utterly useless if it was part of the index.
Yeah.
It would make no sense. So I'm glad that we have the limitations we do personally. Though others would prefer to see these cover a broader universe that was not so geographically controlled. Mind you, you know what they can go all do? Say namaste, bitch.
Bitve.
Bitch.
Yeah,
It's
it
bitch.
sounds like a Yiddish word.
Can you not
Is
read?
that a Yiddish word?
Can you not read? It's a substitute. It's like a metaphorical letter.
Yeah, right.
You're supposed to understand what that is.
Oh, now what about namaste? Is that really
Namaste is like
Nakaste?
thank you, hello.
Oh, nakaste.
Nope. Namaste.
Nakaste, bitch.
What's going on? Soon my microphone's going to go flying up my nose because you're making me do all kinds of...
May the bird
Namaste. Now what does it say, Ed?
the bird of paradise fly up your nose.
Namaste, bitch. Come on, say it with me, Edward. Okay, seriously.
Namaste, bitch.
No, it's namaste, bitch.
Bitch.
That's it.
Bitch.
Bitch. You got it. You got it. All right. Never thought I'd get there.
Yeah.
Look at our precious indexes. It's a blood in the street day everywhere.
Red.
Red.
Why do they associate down with red, for instance? Blood in the
red
streets?
ink.
Red ink?
Losses.
Losses?
Green
red.
ink.
Profits.
Profits.
Marijuana profits.
Marijuana profits. Huh. Do you think
Marijuana
that the green for up and red for down was invented during the last marijuana bull market back in, I think it was the 12th century BC?
Do you know who? Now you've brought this up. Now I've got to.
Here we go on a tangent. I can tell we're going on a tangent.
So do you know they said was the number one most influencing person of the last, not century, but the last 1,000 years. This by the way,
Special head.
in the year
In your
2000, in the year 2000, they listed all the influential people of the last 1,000 years.
Yes.
And who do you think number one was in terms of making the greatest contribution to humanity? And there's a list. There's a list there, like the top 100 people.
Yoda.
No, number Yoda.
What? The future is difficult
Yeah,
to see it here.
But I can see it because I can move that tree with my mind and I can see it.
I use the force on the market every day.
So, I would have thought, maybe Einstein or Newton. No. It was the guy who invented the printing press, Gerstenberg.
Who?
Gerstenberg.
Gerstenberg.
Yeah.
It's not Gerstenberg.
What's his name?
Goethe.
No, it's Gerstenberg.
No, Gutenberg.
Gutenberg. That's it. I knew I was close.
Close.
Gutenberg.
Boy, if
they said he was number one for his contribution was that much greater than everybody else's.
Because of the printing press.
Well, you think about it. They used to do it by one book at a time. We're going to make 100 copies here. How are we going to do that?
Yeah.
Well, start now.
Printing, writing, a lot of work.
I know.
Kind of a specialized skill set. I think the microphone, do we know who invented the microphone? That was the real,
I think.
went from the soapbox to broadcast microphone.
What about the two strings? The string with the two cans. Is that working still?
Wasn't that Marconi?
Marconi had a couple cans.
2 cans with the tight string.
I know.
Let's take a look at some of these individual constituents.
A friend of mine's got
and
a
see if
couple
we
nice
can,
cans.
Oh yeah, a friend of yours has. I hope she's not watching. Well, probably you're in trouble now, Ed.
Well, as long as
you're
hashtag
in
me too.
Deep shit, bitch.
All right.
Just saying.
Okay.
All right, let's look at some of the constituents
Okay,
here on the large cap.
that looks to me that's the biggest drop today.
Weed down almost 5%.
Big.
Aurora
Afria
down
down
3.2%. Afria's down 5.26%.
You know when you see down a buck, you think, I can live with a buck. But it's a greater percentage than this, and I want to say to the viewers, focus on the percentage change.
Right.
There's only so many down 7% you're going to have.
Yep.
Like about 13.
13 down 7%?
Yeah, if you get 13 times 7, that's 98. You get 2% left over.
Well, that's if it
That's
was,
why it doesn't keep going in a straight line. It's back and forth all over the place.
Yeah. Complicated
They got this up to $1.55 about 8 days ago, I think.
Yeah.
And here it is.
Lots of happy campers
drifting.
there.
Yeah, except
Except
someone is going to end up owning all this paper. This paper is not going to be held by nobody.
no, that's true.
So what's this one in here?
This is
That's
Aurora.
Aurora down. Yeah, let's put them by percentage.
Okay, you want to see them.
I want
by
to see who's
ugliness.
Okay, so the Dutchman.
The Dutchman is taking it up the
Afria,
poop chute.
up the-
APH is taking it pretty hard. MedMen is taking its usual.
Kronos holding tough, only down 1%.
beating. Yeah. Well, that's because
And now, is that the full list right there?
that's because Andrew Left wrote it up over at Citron
Oh, so
Research.
it's got a floor, got a floor under it. Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's
he
not
wrote
going-
it up. It must be good here
must be a good buy.
because he's always wrong.
I don't like this right here. I don't like this doji candle.
What?
Kind of a doji candle. And then several days of trying to go higher and no.
Well, look
You know-
at the doji candle coincides with an extraordinary volume day. What does that tell you?
Indecision.
So you sure it shouldn't be dodgy candle?
I think we've just invented a new candle here on the show, folks.
The dodgy candle.
James West, we're going to bring you into the candle.
Wait, did I just
The
invent
candle
a
is
technical analysis term?
You know what? There's a book coming out tomorrow. Tomorrow morning.
We're going to write it tonight. It's only going to be a couple of pages. Ooh,
And what's the name of that candle again? Noji?
dodgy.
Dodgy. It's a dodgy candle. In other
Dodgy.
words, we don't know which way it's going to go. It's dodgy.
Yeah, that makes the
Okay.
whole sect. So, looking at this, Ed, these are all the mega caps.
yeah.
Is this to you, as a technical analyst, pointing to a general sustained downturn in
You had
asset
a
prices?
real run here. Like you could almost put a line right along there.
right out the
We
door.
had a great smash, and then we had a. This is getting choppy. You can see it's getting choppy.
Why don't we pull it into view a little bit? Let's take a look at 1 month. Yeah, look at that. That looks like a market that is getting ready to head south.
Well, this is now lower than this. This was a nice reversal day.
Yeah.
Gave you another chance.
Yeah.
And now you're. Yeah. And again, this is these 10 stocks, right? 1,
Yep.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There
Yeah.
you go.
At the end of September, there'll
Yeah.
be a few more on there, and a couple will come off. Which ones will
Let's
come? No, one will come off.
yeah. So, yeah. I am I going to run out and I'm going to put in fresh money into this sector? Just the way it looks right now, I'd have to say, yet.
Yeah.
Not yet. I
Not
guess that's
yet.
Yet.
Yet. Not yet.
Borscht.
Do you think that's what Russians mean when they say no? They really mean not yet.
You know what? I think yet.
Yet. Oh, so
Hey,
do they actually have a word for-
we're now Russian. I can speak Russian.
Da.
Yet.
Dobrze korba. Strong like bull.
Sklonka pivo. Sklonka pivo.
Right. Kronos Group, yeah. It's only down 0.97%.
And Tilray, and you know what? And we're getting this big.
Ed, does the fact that Kronos is down 0.97% make it the best performer within this index group?
That's the best performer.
That's a sad state of affairs, isn't it? It's only down 1%. It's doing
Oh,
very well.
At that rate, I got 100 days left.
Exactly.
Actually,
It doesn't really work like that.
no, I know it doesn't. I mean, because you get 1% left.
Exactly,
99,
1% of 90. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It doesn't.
yeah,
soon
yeah,
you're down
yeah.
to half pennies and quarter pennies. And all right, let's take a look at the other end of the scale. Let's look at the what is arguably the smallest cap.
Okay.
And there's huge, not looking so huge today.
It's what's huge, 71.
Trading sideways. Let's see what the volume was here today.
Well, you know, when you get a market cap that's close to $1 billion,
oh, it's only traded 13.8 million shares today. It's a
quiet
slow day for
yeah,
huge.
quiet day, kind of
Quiet day. Trading by appointment.
You know, you get a market cap, and again, you know, most people don't realize that $1 billion is 1,000 million. So if you had,
Wait a sec. What?
well, yeah,
billion is
I hate to
1,000
break it to you, James, but there is some math involved here. Like these terms are
That's
just
intimidating.
Billion doesn't mean a lot more million.
No.
It actually means 1,000 of them.
No, really?
So let's say you had a house that was worth $1 million,
Okay.
and let's say you had 1,000 of these houses, which would
Okay,
be a lot
okay.
of houses up and down the street.
Then
you'd have $1 billion.
Huh. I'd have a lot of houses. I'd have a lot of places to stay.
You
Would I
know,
be a land
people
slumlord?
I think forget what these market value, when they say a market cap's 300 million,
Yeah.
that's a lot of money. 300 million is still a lot of money.
Peanuts, Ed.
Well, to you and I, but to the average guy out there, you know,
It's a lot of do-re-mi.
like, you know, and it is.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's why,
I know.
you know, you say, well, our company's only worth 80 million.
That's
like,
why I don't want to have 300 million around anymore.
you decided that,
Been
well,
there,
you've been
done
trying for 300 all your life. Where's that got you?
Well, exactly.
So now you change your,
Yeah. No. I don't need 300
like if
million.
you had $150 million,
Well, again,
like, you know,
then I'd have the same problem I did last time. Sticking.
you know what the problem is? You can't, because of your nature, your nature as a manifestation of the universe. Manifestations of the universe cannot be placated by something as vulgar as the filthy lucre.
Whoa!
Say that one again.
We just waxed poetic here. Holy fuck! Can you say that again? Actually, no. I don't think you should.
I don't think I should.
I don't think you could. Did you remember what you just said?
No. But I think
It sounded good though.
there's got to be some people right now thinking, "Holy shit! There's some depth here."
Well,
Depth.
or they're thinking, they're shaking their heads and going, "What the hell did he just say?"
He's off the wagon. Yeah,
He's
off the wagon.
He's finally off the wagon. When are you going to go off the wagon? I want to be there. That's the only reason I asked. I'm not trying to pressure you.
No,
tonight.
it's coming.
Yeah?
It's
Yeah?
coming.
You get to a point where you feel so good, you're like, nah, I can have one night. Is it going to be a Friday night?
I'm trying to coincide my, marijuana my love affair with the weed. I'm trying to time it with the legalization.
Oh.
Yeah,
So
so-
what? You start smoking it?
I'll be here puffing away on that.
You'll
day,
be high.
October 17th.
What, you show up high all the time?
They try. Yeah, but nobody knows it's not legal yet.
Oh, I see. That's why we don't talk about it.
Yeah, the booze thing. I got to tell you, I just can't believe. I think
Booze is not for pussies. Is that what you're saying, Ed?
I think it's rough on your body. I think it's rough on your skin.
Well, that's...
Hey,
Could you imagine how packed the bars would be if everybody could drink? That's why it's not for the faint of heart. You have to have 3 kidneys and be Irish to be a good drinker. Or be Russian and have no kidneys.
Yeah, be Russian and just say, hey, forget the kidney.
Yet.
Forget the kidney.
You want to stop drinking? Yet.
Yet. Not yet.
Much later. Later. More vodka.
Later.
More vodka.
Yeah.
So, all right, it's ugliness all around. FSD Pharma, we'll call it the bellwether of the CSE, even though it says Class B here. Who would, see what kind of person invests in a Class B company? I don't, or a Class B share. Anthony's going to get really mad at me for taking the piss out of his company, and he's going to pretend he never watches the show, but I know he does, so.
Yeah.
Anthony, we want you on the show because we're ready to pay you some homage for your incredible FSD.
That was
huge thing. Hugeness. Your hugeness.
Your hugeness.
your hugeness.
Your hugeness.
All right, let's see if there's anything green on the CSE.
Okay.
Oh!
There's one.
ChemSys International. See, you got these outliers that you never hear
Green
from.
thumb, up $1.14. Wow.
They just announced a $20 per share bought deal financing. I think it was led by GMP today. Is it today?
So when a company gets to that kind of a major...
Just in time for the show, Juju pops its head up. It's 26 cents. It's the 3rd best performer on the CSE today, Eddie. Look at that. We're long that, aren't we?
On the C?
CSE.
On the
Juju.
C?
I'm long the
Where
CS.
is it?
Right here, number
Where?
3. Oh, see, this is the thing.
Oh, there it is.
My mouse on my screen, I don't know, it's the NDI thing does something weird to my mouse. But anyways, we got to fix that somehow. Speakeasy, these are the guys who were growing on the 5 acres. I think it was 5 acres. Is it 50 acres? Or was it 500 acres out in Rock Creek, BC? Like, see, these lesser known stuff.
Okay.
Fincana, California deal is up a penny today. Prevceutical, this thing trades like a monster on I don't know what. A lot of oxygen. Canada House Wellness, after taking a thumping yesterday, is back up a penny. Global Hemp Group took a bit of a thumping. It's back up a penny. Like, it's really interesting. It's like if it's a day where all of the big ones get basically taken outside and beaten, these more obscure ones tend to be the beneficiaries. Like, look at even Suniva is up 5 cents.
Hey,
So you want to see who the biggest loser was on the CSE today? Votis Pharmaceuticals. Do you know who they are? I've never heard of them.
Well, look, it down 4 cents.
They're 16 cents.
You know what? Depending on how much volume, but you know, you'd like to see. When I look at the most actives and they're the biggest gainers, biggest losers, I always look at the volume at the same time, because if it's a few shares and it moves 4 cents,
Yeah.
Like I notice one of my favorite stocks of all time, probably can't get much more favorite, is Crown Mining, because I own so much. Just playing my own.
I like
here.
the way you throw in full disclosure, in the same sentence that you introduced the deal.
No problem here.
I like that. That's
Now,
good.
if you didn't own it, would you like it? Not so much.
It's pretty cheap.
It's very cheap.
What's the market cap of Crown Mining right now?
3.4 million, 3.5 million.
And how much copper do they have?
They have a 43-101 for at least 2 billion pounds. Mm-hmm. They're more, and Placer said there's probably more like 4 to 5 billion pounds of copper, at least 1 million ounces of gold, and 25 million ounces of silver. Already there. Nobody gives a shit.
Already,
I think we're gonna, because they have a 43-101 and they've done a preliminary economic assessment.
Why don't they drill some more holes?
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
We're gonna, you know what? We're
So
probably.
what about copper globally, Led? Why would we be interested in copper at all?
Did you say lead?
Lead? Lead?
Is that
You're lead.
Lead with Ed.
I'll be zinc. You be lead.
Okay.
We'll be lead zinc.
Boy, Ed, why don't you get the lead out of your pants there?
110% lead zinc.
Look.
Yeah.
You know what? At one point,
All right.
if
I'm going to give Bloomberg a bit of a boost in their ratings here, and we're going to go look at Bloomberg and see what the price of copper is.
I can tell you what it is.
Do people still use Bloomberg?
277 today.
277.
That's my guess.
How do you know?
Well,
you're guessing.
because I have a
There we
feed
go.
right into my brain.
Gold, 1188.
Yeah, the gold's gotten pounded today.
What? 1188. Oh boy, that doesn't make sense. And the day I have a gold guy on here, gold goes down to 1188. That actually does make sense. Copper, 277.
Oh, once
Ed.
again, I got it.
Bang on. Look at that. What do you got? A crystal ball?
Yeah.
You know, one of these days we will have a crystal ball, just so we can hold it up when somebody says, "What do you got? A crystal ball?" Yeah, I got a crystal ball. Why? You got a problem with that? You checking your phone messages there?
No. These
Looking
are quotes.
at your porn?
Quotes.
Taking a little quick look at the porn. Need a little action over there, do you, Eddie? Okay, I'll carry the show over
All
here
right,
while
okay.
you're looking at. Here, you want to look at quotes? I can pull that up for you.
Yeah, that's interesting. Stock market closes in 27 minutes.
Stock market closes in 27 minutes. In the meantime, let's take a look at some of the market movers today. I'm going to pull up this big bad chart here. So at the top of the food chain in terms of sheer number of shares outstanding, here's what happens when cannabis takes a crapper. Look, it's suddenly you got some mining companies up here. Great Atlantic Resources, Bonterra Resources up a little bit.
Yeah.
The mining market sits down for a while, and the mining complex benefits. The cannabis market sits down for a while. But look, you've got other alternative healthcare, or rather life sciences stocks in here. Look at that. But all of the, let's see, all right, so on the TSXV, we got some mining action. On the CSE, what do we got? FSD Pharma, Canada House Wellness. Well, there are no mining companies left on the CSE. They're all marijuana, so we'll just move right along from there. See on the big board. Look, there's Aurora Cannabis, down 42 cents, 27 million shares. And there's Royal Nickel right next to it, down 5 cents on 10 million shares traded. Oh, just went up a penny. Free is down $1.25 or 6.58%.
Why
Interesting.
is
The biggest volume traders in the top 6 are all heavily red. I guess that means it's a down day overall, eh?
Yeah.
What we should do? We should look at let's look at NYSE.
I wanted to take a close look at Golden today,
Okay.
because I thought the action yesterday was very.
I just happen to have a. You want a chart?
Yes, please. I want to see a 1 month. Put up a 1 month.
1 month. There you go. make that puppy big. Yeah, so golden kind of had a bit of a breakout yesterday. Or actually, I started the day before, but today it's back in drifting sideways, nobody cares mode.
Yeah, well, you know, the fact that they had a big day here yesterday, we know news is that, you know, they've only reported 20% of their drilling results. I suspect we'll get drilling results probably tomorrow's Friday. Won't be Friday, won't be Monday, probably be Tuesday.
Oh, yeah?
That's what I'm thinking.
Why do you think Tuesday? Is Tuesday
Well, it'd be-
traditionally a drilling results kind of day?
Yeah.
Tuesdays.
Yeah, Tuesdays.
Really? Nobody releases results on Mondays?
No.
Or Fridays?
Or Fridays.
Nobody does that. What's the
Yeah,
point?
because you want people paying
Maximum
attention.
audience.
Yeah,
You
maximum
wanna
audience.
have an effect. You want to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
At least appear to.
Anyway,
What else you want to look at? So you wanted to go in depth. Is that it? That's your in-depth analysis
well,
of GLDN?
the chart that I was looking at showed that, you know, in here.
Want to back it out a bit? Maybe 6 months?
Well, yeah, that's
go.
what I wanted. That's okay. That's what I wanted to show you.
You like the big wick, don't
Well,
you?
I like the symmetry. I like to see some symmetry. So we had a drop to new lows. We had a big candle yesterday, a nice candle. Mm-hmm. Then back and fill today, probably because, you know, whoever was buying yesterday is anticipating maybe some good. I don't know. Who knows?
Well, you know, if you look at the run-up to the last press release, so here's where the stock started moving, August 3rd, and the press release didn't come out till way over here.
No, I don't. I think it came out here. The first one did.
What? Where?
Right here? Yeah, there, and then it ran up
Tuesday,
to there.
August 14th. Let's just see how close to reality you actually might be. GLDN News. Golden Ridge Resources News. Here we go. Okay, August 27th. Nope. Oh, okay. So August 14th drills a new porphyry copper gold discovery at Williams Zone. Hole HNK 1801, 327 meters at 0.31. Oh, so August 14th. I don't know why I was thinking September.
Yeah.
So let's go correlate that on the chart. So there you go. You're absolutely right. Ding, 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 ding. Namaste, bitch.
Let me see if how can I get some more points here?
So then the build continued here after that initial good news because there was anticipation of another great bull. And what happened?
The hole came out when it was better.
But
nobody cared. Somebody wanted more than better.
You know what I think happened? They put out the first news release at 3 a.m. And so then the subsequent press release that came out said resend or reissue. And so everybody looked at that reissue. The results and the size of the intercept were similar to the original press release back in August. And a lot of people went, oh, that's the same press release back in August. Nothing to see here. Move on, move on. At least that's my theory. And of course, probably I'm the only one who's sticking to it. But so after that press release came on, there was a general abdication of faith, a stampede for the exits. Everybody said, fuck this. And away they went. Drifted down to 19 cents, which is where I was lying in wait like an evil alligator. Picked up a little boatload and could have sold it yesterday at quite the little tidy profit if I was looking for nickels and dimes, but you know me, I'm always looking for
bit piggish.
Bit of a pig. Ed, see this? That's right.
You know what I think we should do is we should wear disguises sometimes, and then we'll say we'll say we're not James and Ed. You guys.
But wait a sec, you just disclosed that we're going to do that. So next time that happens, they're going to be, oh, there's James and Ed.
No, don't say that's not James and Ed.
What if we sat in opposite seats in disguise?
That'll really throw for everybody for a loop.
I bet you until we start talking. Actually, just until we sit down, because you've got your posture and I've got mine. Well, I've got my posture. You don't have posture.
It would be kind of neat if our chairs were sort of rotating around the table
while we were talking.
Yeah, and that way, once in a while, I'd be in the main chair. Just once in a while.
How is this the main chair?
Well, I think we all know.
Come on.
What? Are you saying this is the main chair?
I don't see.
Is this
the egalitarian universe?
I just want to answer this question. Is this the main chair?
That's the main chair.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
Ed?
Bullshit.
That's the main Ed Milewski chair. This is the main James West chair.
I'm going to look directly into the main camera. Oh, you have to turn around to do it.
Oh,
do you?
That's. Wait a sec here. You're trying to turn this all around and make
I'm not
it
trying
sound.
to turn around.
You're trying to make me sound like a bully.
Only for me, I'm trying to turn it around because no one can see me.
You know what? You want to switch seats?
No.
You sure?
No.
I don't mind.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay, just
You go to that side. Let's see how this
you know
works
what?
out.
I'm gonna.
No, come on. I think
blush.
this will be a good thing.
I'm gonna blush.
Look.
Okay, what do we got here?
Okay.
Hey Ed, will you stop looking on your?
Oh, there goes Tilray.
All right.
Get
back in
I'm
over
not
here.
liking this. I like this, but when you see this,
Yeah. You know what I like?
There.
I like it, but I'm over here.
and I'm not taking the piss out of you from over there.
Yeah.
Ed, what are these glasses for? Fucking magnifying cellular insects? Or
Where are you, James?
exactly. It's like, what?
Where's James?
What is this?
Where's
That's
James?
not Ed.
Wait, what? Okay.
Well, there you are. Here.
Hey,
There's a little filthy.
Filthy.
Yeah.
I'm
is
a
that
little.
how? Is that how you?
You know
turn
what?
into
I'm not the first
sunglasses?
person that's
You
been
just
called a little
Smear
filthy.
them all up with Ed butter.
Okay. Ed Butter.
Your little man gravy. That's
no, not little man
disgusting.
gravy, lot man gravy.
That's disgusting.
Jesus.
Where
Okay.
do you?
Fucking, where did you come from? Fuck.
Can we get a bar of soap out here
Yeah,
and a
I'm
bucket
gonna
of
wash.
water?
Yeah, I'm gonna wash his mouth with
Oh, I'm
soap.
gonna wash your ears out with soap after that. Boy, oh boy.
Boy, this market's starting to fade here, folks. Just saying.
What market? You mean today or like
MJ
then?
market. MJ market.
Yeah, but you know what, Ed? I want to point out here. Like, let's pull out this. I'm gonna pull up the weed chart here because this is the best one to make my point.
Okay.
Weed.
The weed chart hasn't really rolled over yet, I don't think.
Okay, it's on the. Let's go 1 year. Okay, so
Yeah.
we are in this sideways pattern. I mean, it was incrementally upward throughout the summer here.
Ever since the Constellation deal.
August 15th. Look at August 14th. You see they closed the stock low?
Yeah.
And then they announced that just to make sure that nobody was going to get caught with beaten with the ugly stick by the regulator. That was a talent. So August 15th hits, boom, the whole sector takes off and goes and goes and goes. Well, let's go back to, if I go 5 years here, so let's go back to, this is the day that they announced that cannabis was going to be legalized for recreational purposes.
Well, how in the hell did these companies know that?
They put it out in the news.
But
The Globe and Mail pointed it out.
Yeah, but then these companies were already public, waiting for them to go public.
No. This is these. Jesus. I think you need a drink. This is November. In October, they announced that they were going to allow recreational cannabis, and then back in this part here in November, remember there was the Prime Minister's working group on cannabis legalization for recreational purposes. Anyways, so that whole thing lasted like throughout October, November. Now look over here. This is where all the stocks got taken off because they announced the date of legalization back here, which at that time they said it was approved in the Senate. It just had to go to the Senate. So that whole bull catalyst lasted all of September 2016, right up to November 28, 2016. Then you had this sideways drift. And then January comes along. Sorry, that's the wrong year. But January comes along over here, and Canopy announces the first 10% buy from Constellation Brands. Then they announce their bot deal.
Is Canopy one word or three? Canopy.
Can-O-P.
A piece.
Okay,
Like
I'm going with man gravy. I think that's way better. I think that's way better imagery. Anyways, disgusting, Ed. Can-O-P. What do you mean by that? I don't get it.
You like-
3
you
words.
like pe- you like-
Can-O-P?
Like peas, like a can of peas.
Peas.
Canopies.
Oh, canapes.
Canapes.
Small crackers with little individual tidbits of delicacies on them that are
Yum,
served
yum,
at
yum,
cocktail parties with wine and champagne. Right. Anyways, my point being that after these major value catalysts and the big run up in the share prices, that always followed by a slow, sleepy drift until the next value catalyst. So if you lined up all of these high points, they'd all align with periods following major press releases,
Yeah.
if you look at all of those sudden falls off a cliff, it's like, well, all the profit starts to be taken from those sudden rises in valuations by all the traders who have found themselves in possession of more money than they had last week. So this is just part of the regular program. The euphoria has finally left the market from the $5 billion investment into Canopy, from the $300 a share price of Tilray. Those two things projected that euphoria a lot longer than a single industry-wide catalyst normally would. And this is the result. We've had prolonged euphoria, acquisition, distribution, whatever you want to call it. Now people are starting to take profits because the steam seems to be coming out of the volumes, and people are going, well, I'm up 30%, I'm up 40%.
Certainly, looking at the RSI here,
57, 67.
No, that's on that day you're on. But let's move it right to the end. Like today, for instance, it's a little bit lower, 54. So it's sort of in between, isn't it?
Right. Well, so again, this is why I think technical analysis is the best way to predict the past.
Yeah.
Is on the technical basis, you would say, looking at the RSI, this looks like a good time to get back in. Looking at the Bollinger Bands, let's actually do the Bollinger Bands of service and pull this down to 1 year. Look, it's trading well within the Bollinger Bands.
Yeah.
I think it looks like time to take a little swing at this. Might be heading higher.
Or just to be the devil's advocate, could be a little lower too, right? Like, in other words, it's in between. There's not a real strong case here. I'd rather go in when the RSI is really low and it looks like you shouldn't go in. Look, like everybody's going, holy shit, don't get in
like
here.
It's going lower.
Yeah, it's like Donnie.
Donnie, the mystery man, Mac Daddy, market making.
Somebody suggested to me when
he's in Cancun today.
Donnie,
how's Cancun?
When Canopy was $33, someone suggested this thing is going to $25. And you know what? Look how low. Look at. It looks like this thing is just gone side. Like in here, we've had a drop, full Monty run back.
Yeah.
Full Monty.
Yeah. Full Monty.
And if it rolls over here, I don't know. I think we're going to test that number.
Yeah.
And so look at, we had a hell of a run here, and if you didn't make enough money.
What do you mean? Whoa! We had a hell of a run here. You're talking like it's all over for everyone.
I'm saying that let's maybe an element of
caution.
Let's not assume that what we just had is going to keep going on forever.
What if this is just a bunch of guys taking short-term profit off the table, and this is just the stop on the way to $100 per?
Doesn't feel that way. It
doesn't feel that way. I'll bet you, Ed, that we see weed, and I can say this because I'm not holding any shares right now of weed. That I'll bet you it goes to $100.
You already said this.
Well, I said this a year ago, but I'm going to say it again
You
because
said it
it's even
a
closer
month ago.
now.
You said when Donnie was on the show, and he wasn't supposed to be. We all picked one stock, and I think I'm already losing big time.
Well, I don't really consider that winning because, like I said, I don't actually own the stock. I chase Canopy sometimes, and it always when it's got a head of steam up, it's just like you can't buy it on the bid. You got to buy it on the offer. Which is contrary to my preferred method of self-impoverishment. But just saying. Let's see how Aurora is doing on this day of darkness. And then I want to look at the two companies that are affiliated with these guys.
You know what we probably should have looked at today too, and we will. I'm just throwing it out there, so I don't want to forget, is Namaste.
Namaste. Bitch.
No.
All right.
Bitch.
Boy, hey, people are going to think I'm endorsing Namaste. Bitch. I am not endorsing anybody. Notice I never wear endorsing sweaters or anything on this show. Although today it would appear to be, but it's not.
If you were wearing endorsing sweaters, would you also be stimulating your endorphins? Endorsing endorphins.
I think I would be looking for a unicorn to go drinking with. Or something like that. That's how high I'd be.
Look at the volatility on those. Some of those. Those are major candles. That is suggesting. You see how each day's range is fairly substantial. That is suggesting volatility.
Yep.
And look at, we got the RSI now. Isn't it amazing how when you just follow this RSI, it was way up here between close to 90, and now it's 47.
Yeah. So buy it, sell it, hold it, wait. What are you thinking?
You know what? I don't want to step into a situation with an RSI in between. I'd rather it be very close to 100 and then short it, or very close to 20 and then buy it.
Because it's
Something
more of a
like
sure
that.
thing?
Well, when the odds are stacked up, when everybody says don't buy it, that means everybody's sold, and there's no one left to sell, right? So if there's no one left to sell...
So we should search for stocks that have an RSI below 20.
Well, 20, something that is in the right group, exactly.
I wonder if the screener can do that on this little program we've got here. Let's see.
The screamer?
The screamer.
Let's
Ooh.
bring out the screamer.
Bring out the screamer.
Ah! Jesus.
Sector. No, I don't see a way to.
Well, you know what? We're going to work on that. Okay, I'm gonna try and.
I think we should start our own.
Well, like for instance, if you go to the most active list
Okay.
and say what are the biggest gains or biggest losers, and find something that's really active, punch up the chart quickly.
Really active. So, okay, Great Atlantic Resources.
Like Alethea was very active today. There it is,
Alethea.
338.
Okay.
Is this live right now? 338.
It's live.
Do you know that thing has had a range of 470 to 266
Yeah.
in 2 days?
So you bought it at below $3 today.
I bought it at 266.
So you're up again.
267.
You've made money. This is your second day making money on Alethea. Third day. Oh, clever Ed. Now see, here's what happens, Ed. You know how
I
guys
know
in
what
the
happens.
market.
I know your head gets a little bigger.
No. This is a different story.
Not this head?
This is a different head.
Different head.
Different head. Sometimes guys spend their whole lives churning capital in the markets, trying to make a clever move, trying to be the big trader, and
big man on
but every once in a
BMOC.
while, all their theories come together, and they see clearly. Suddenly, the silence of the universe penetrates to the center of their being, and with their eyes closed and with a solid throw of the dart at the dartboard, they can pick a good stock and actually make some serious money. And then, if they do it again, they're a genius.
Look at this. This is interesting. I just noticed this.
Uh-oh.
The low of the day,
Yeah.
though the open, wait a minute. I think, okay, well, I'll just say the open
Yeah.
and the high
Yeah.
is $1 apart. Look at that.
Interesting.
Isn't that just, you just love numbers, don't you?
Oh, I'm fascinated.
I wouldn't mind smoking a number right now.
Can you run me by that and through that again? Like, wow. Did you do something there?
No, I
You didn't
just
plan
saw it.
that?
I just saw it.
It's just all natural?
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy.
So
okay.
so they're getting their share of volume. What's their volume today?
Alethea?
Yeah, it's-
Well, we only look at
The first digit. We hired the
13
second
million,
digit.
but we're not looking at all of the other exchanges. We only have a couple of them on here.
I'll tell you what I see. I see.
What you say, she sucker? Okay, let's go.
19 million for all exchanges. 13.4 million on the venture. Another 6 million on all the other exchanges.
Look
So
at-
20 million.
Everything's bleeding to death in Canada, but Tilray and MedMen, well, Tilray is having a 13% up day.
I know.
Everybody's
But didn't you notice yesterday or the last couple of days there were some bad days for Tilray and the Canadian stocks? Like it's almost like Trudeau's involved, saying we want to remain Canadian at all costs.
well, could be.
He's probably saying, "Oh, we don't follow the U.S. stock market." Trump.
Oh, Barron's put out a piece that mentions Tilray. But the performance has been should probably just is clickbait. Let's see. Tilray's flash crash is an ominous sign for the cannabis sector. Who put out that? I can't believe they include Seeking Alpha and they call it news. That's just a travesty, is what that is.
Well, there's
Seeking Alpha is pure
16% gainer right there. No, yeah.
Okay.
No, it's up $16.
I can't believe we're in
14% gainer.
Yeah, but that's like, why isn't if the whole sector is going cold, then why isn't Tilray part of that? Why is Tilray?
Well, as you pointed out, it's not a Canadian listed company. So it's going to have a different set of parameters, different set of metrics.
Doesn't anybody in Tilray talk to any of the other shareholders in the other deals?
No,
Hey, this market's falling to pieces. You guys
don't
might
care.
want to lighten up.
I don't care.
What is falling to pieces? We'll buy more.
You know what? They're not all moving in step, which suggests to me there's going to be a lot more of this up one day, down one day, up one day.
Yeah. You know, I think in view of here's the next catalyst we know about, October 17th, right?
Yeah.
Goes legal in Canada recreationally. That's one level of uncertainty removed when it actually, we can go down the street to the store,
Yeah.
buy a package of blunts, get high on the street.
Yeah, but you know what's interesting? I don't know if I mentioned this, but I'm not trying to suggest that I was smoking some of the herb on the weekend. But
Judging by the way you talk, it sounds like it.
Right.
Say that again.
smoking some of the herb on the weekend.
Oh, I see.
Like a la Jamaica.
Oh, that was a Jamaican accent. I thought it was a Mauritian accent. I was smoking some
You thought I was a
weed.
little stunned. You thought I was stunned. You can walk in, here's what I like. It's illegal.
Yeah.
It's illegal.
Yeah.
Well, there's a little cafe down the street there. You walk in and you say, I want the special room. Oh, you don't want any cupcakes? No. Do you want some desserts? No. How about a coffee? No. Latte? No. Americana? No. Reefer? Uh-huh.
Oh, you got to go through that whole list before they sell.
No, well, they're trying to upsell you, I bet. You know?
The reefers must be more. Hey, you know what? The
I can't
dispensary-
believe it. You just walk in there and they just, you show them your ID and they say, what do you want?
That's nice. Why don't you believe it?
Well, because it's
You're-
illegal.
Wow, it's never really been illegal in Canada, Ed.
I know.
Don't you know that?
So why did they go through all the trouble to make it legal?
So to keep everybody from smoking dope. Can you imagine if everybody smoked weed, how expensive it would be right now? The dispensary in my neighborhood got closed down yesterday. High Society it was called. I walk by it every single day and I'm like, as long as that dispensary's open, these LPs are going to have a problem when the recreational market hits. Well, guess what the government's doing right now?
Closing them.
Shutting them all down.
Just to make it look good for when
Well,
they're just,
you know, if the laws take effect on October 17th and the dispensaries that are not part of the law are still open, guess what the law is? A sham, arguably. So they got to enforce the law
yeah.
and let the underground growers know that
So they're
we're
only
serious.
going to enforce the law.
Well, I'll tell you what's happening. Guess what's open again? The dispensary is back in business, baby.
How do you know?
Well, because that was yesterday. I walked by it today. It was all good.
They just said, okay, we'll close her down.
Yeah. Actually, we needed more supplies anyway. So
yeah, we
okay.
were out of inventory.
Okay, they're gone. Open it
Okay,
back
open
up
it
again.
back
Woo! But you know, it was funny. The first thing I knew what was up because there was a whole bunch of little hippies standing around outside of the store, walking around in circles as if like they'd lost their mommy.
Little hippies.
And I was like, "What's up, bros?"
Gonna tell
They're like,
on you.
"The place is closed, man."
Little hippies. Gonna tell.
You take the low road, I'll take the high road. Anyways, I think we better look at another index. Let's look at the small cap index. See how it's faring.
Well,
Well, we
let's-
know it's getting the snot beat out of it.
Snot.
Whoa, look at that. 1, 2, 3 green stocks in the small caps. PVOT, don't even know what that is.
Pivot.
Pivot, what? Pivot? Pivot's not a weed
No,
stock.
no, it's not a PVOT.
Let's see, how do we get up? Let's see what the chart says.
SNN, Suniva. That's the one that your buddy likes.
Yeah. Look at that.
What's the name of the fellow that I met that's involved in the capital company? That's the father of Kyle,
Dave Eaton,
Dave Eaton. Jeez, I couldn't remember his name.
Baron Capital.
I'm having trouble.
Yeah, I know. It's hilarious. I'm getting text commentary from some of our friends here, and it's like freaking me out. I'm like, wait a sec, am I looking at the... Anyways, the market closes in 50 seconds, Ed. What kind of celebration are we going to have today?
Yeah, I think we're just going to just sit back and hope that this doesn't turn into a...
Full rout? A market rout? Or the whole market? You know what? I can tell you some guys will be dancing in the streets if there's a market rout in cannabis. Mining guys. And they'll be like, Told ya, it's all going south. Buy mining.
Emerald Health backing off here, down
Wow.
38.5 cents.
What's not backing off right now? Well, except Tilray, of course, and Juju. This is well, I guess Juju's a U.S. play too. Well, that's interesting. So Juju and MedMen are still powering, and Tilray, because they're all U.S. operations, Canadian listed. But all the ones that are U.S., let's see how AUSA is
Hey,
doing.
look at there's that bell.
There's the bell. It's over.
It's over, ladies and
over.
gentlemen. It's over.
Get the dead off the field. Let's clean that blood off of here, and let's get ready for tomorrow. Right now. AUSA is not a valid symbol. This trading platform gives me attitude sometimes. I really don't like it. Okay, so look at this. AUSA, U.S. operations oriented, still part of the bloodbath. Why do you think that is, Ed? AUSA. AUSA. Ed.
I'll tell you. Well, the AU. Look at. Here's the problem with AUSA, and again, I'm not suggesting that I know I have all the answers. But when you told me it went from 10 to 16 and now it was 4 or 3, I thought it's got to be a buy. Until I found out they basically let their friends in at 20 cents. 20 cents? Why would you pay 10 times something? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I'm not
Preaching to the converted here, Ed.
like if you paid, like, let's say you bought some at 20 cents. Ed, I think you should step in here and pick some of this stock up. It's really cheap. What's it at, James? 2 1/4. What
I didn't
did you
say
pay?
that, did I?
20 cents. No, you didn't.
Good.
No, you didn't say, but I'm just
Then
saying.
you'd be mad.
It would come across as extremely disingenuous.
Especially if I
If
owned
you
it.
said, if you bought it at 20 cents and you said, Ed, for you should step in at $3. And why would that be, James? Because I'm trying to sell my paper.
That's right.
And I want it to look like
I need a buyer.
you need
a
a buyer. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, Ed, I'm not like that.
No, I know.
At least
I
not
know,
yet.
but that's why, you asked the question, why is it acting? Because, and it was the public that moved them up there to begin with, and now...
Well, yeah, well.
Yeah.
A lot of people that started trading and everybody just went, oh, this is Aurora Junior, so it's got to be worth more.
Is that Namaste there at 230, 248?
Yeah, Namaste's gotten boot fucked again today. Oh, we have to have a quick chat here with you. Have you followed TGIF at all? It was called Friday Nights, another Stadnik production that was successful.
Yeah.
It still is successful. So
TGIF?
yeah, Brayden Sutton, who has worked with the Stadniks for a while, has taken it over. He's changed the name to 1933 Industries. Remember we're having this conversation?
Why would they change the name?
I'm going to let you tell him tell you right now.
You can let me tell him.
I'm going to let him tell you.
Hey.
We couldn't figure it out, remember? Hey, welcome back. My guest this segment is Brayden Sutton. He's the president and CEO of 1933 Industries, Inc., which was formerly known as Friday Night, Inc. Trades on the CSE under the symbol TGIF. Brayden, welcome.
Thank you, James. Thanks so much for having me.
Okay, Brayden, I'm going to yank the 900-pound elephant out of the corner here right away and say, what is with the name change?
I think the name change, we started out as a bit different company with a real focus on, sort of a lifestyle brand, very much the Vegas sort of party image. I think we've really matured over the last several quarters. We've got a lot of initiatives we'd like to undertake, and it better represents the company as a whole, so we can focus on our individual brands, but carry a bit more of a mature parent co.
I see. And what is the logic behind the name 1933 Industries?
Well, the significance, of course, prohibition was repealed in late 1933. It very much represented kind of a dawn of a new era, right?
I got it.
Essentially, government trying to sort of legislate morality. So it's a nod to that, certainly with the U.S. being our focus. And you could say equally as much sort of a metaphor for the same as it relates to cannabis and as it matures and accepts more, gets more acceptance all over the world.
Wow, sure. Okay, so give me a breakdown of the sort of asset package that constitutes 1933 Industries now.
Yes, we're made up of 3 assets. We've got a Canadian consulting company called Spire Secure, which deals primarily with regulatory due diligence, everything on the compliance side. We have cultivation facility in Las Vegas called AMA, which was the very first license in Las Vegas. It's about a 3-year-old asset at this time, owns about 5% of the Vegas THC market. And then we have the Infused brand, our third asset, which is purely a hemp-derived CBD-focused company with about 60 SKUs and expanding now into 3 states. So that makes up our 3 assets.
Very good. And so, what kind of sales are you dealing with right now?
Sales have increased very nicely. Our last quarter, we announced 3.3, which was a healthy increase by about I forget the exact percentage, but we're again, operating right now, enjoying a little over a $20 million annual run rate, heading into much more into 2019.
Okay, so is the company profitable at this point?
All of our assets are cash flowing. The company should be profitable in the next quarter, I would say, absolutely. But again, something to look forward to as we bring in a couple of other assets that we're looking at. We'll see some very healthy profitability in 2019.
Okay, and so how are you finding the Las Vegas market specifically, and more broadly Nevada state market? It strikes me as being an obviously default sort of recreational tourism zone that it might become very crowded with supply very quickly.
Yeah, the state is tremendous. From a regulatory perspective, the state of Nevada is just a great place to do business. I quite enjoy the market because unlike, say, what British Columbia has to look forward to with a very, very robust, healthy gray market, we don't really have that problem in Nevada, specifically in Las Vegas. So it's a very well-regulated industry. It's very controlled, unlike, say a LA market, or even how Washington State was rolled out, in that there are quite a few retailers with not a whole lot of supply in the market. So there is still a moratorium on those new rec licenses, which we have. And we expect the demand to continue to be very, very strong. Where it'll be once they let some new entrants in 18, 24 months down the road will be anybody's guess, but we expect the market and the demand to be very, very healthy there for some time. It's got, as you know, about 45 million visitors annually, and it's a little bit higher use per capita, a little bit higher spend per capita, and again, without competing with such a black market influence as other states, it's been a great place to work.
Sure. Can you elaborate on the moratorium on new licenses? That's not something that I've been aware of.
Yeah, so when July 1st was go live of rec, only the existing medical producers were eligible to enter sort of the 21 and up market, and then they put an 18-month moratorium on any new entrants to the marketplace. So right now, where, for example, the wholesale price of flower is quite a bit higher than you see in a state like Oregon or a state like Washington, we expect, again, that to continue high without sort of the onslaught. If you look at, I think it's upwards now in Canada of about 15 million square feet potentially that we'll have, there's not even a small fraction of that in the Nevada market. So again, the demand for the producers and the cultivators like us should remain very healthy.
Excellent. Okay, so then that being the case, the margins on your retail pricing hasn't been affected in any negative way at all?
That's just it. Even retail stores, we, are very, very, have a very watchful eye on the retail market. We have applied for a retail license. We very purposely waited and stayed out of retail, both because the price per store has actually come down considerably. And again, we will see some new entrants to the market. So we look forward to being in retail, but right now we're enjoying the benefits of not being subject to sort of the ebbs and flows of the retail world.
Okay, and so do you have plans to expand into other states?
We do. We recently announced an agreement with Denver DAB, where we're in Colorado in a meaningful way. The same with California, which again is a very different market. Our eyes are very close on Arizona, New York, and Florida specifically, and we are scaling up the CannaHemp brand state by state. So we will see a number of new states coming into place at the end of this year, hopefully, and into 2019. Sure.
Okay, that's great. So you had a bought deal financing closed a week or so ago of $17.25 million. Who were the participants in that financing? Was it U.S. Individual investors, Canadian institutional?
Yeah, we're still very much a retail-heavy stock. So we did get a couple institutions, one of which out of New York, a significant one, which I expect to help us in the future. We are continuing to grow that institutional ownership. But it wasn't actually a bought deal; it was a marketed deal led by Canaccord, who did a great job. There was some participation from a couple other firms, but primarily was Canadian retail focused. That's very much where our demand continues to be very strong.
Okay, so is there any sort of future in which you can see expanding to an export market from Nevada, or is that something that just isn't likely in the cards?
Yeah, we're currently working with the state and the county on a 16,000 square foot hemp extraction facility. It's actually going to be the largest in the state, so we're blazing new trails there, and we'll have the ability to, in the future, potentially export significant amounts of CBD isolate. That market continues to change rapidly as they're, depending on harvests, of course, and imports as well, but we do very much anticipate to be exporting CBD in the near future.
Interesting. What percentage of your sales would you say is made up by recreational users versus medical?
Yeah, so on the THC side, our focus has very much been the recreational market. So on all of our branded goods, it can be a bit of a blurry line when now in certain markets when you have a medical user versus somebody looking to feel the effects just for recreational purposes. So, again, on the THC side, definitely about 90% would be probably serving the Vegas rec market. Having said that, our CBD line, all of the products on the CBD side are very much geared towards healthy living and wellness. So if you factor that medical, which, again, sort of a blurry line, that represents currently about 35% of our total sales.
Right. And is there a heavy sort of weighting towards, vaping resins, towards shatters, towards edibles? How does that sort of landscape look in Nevada relative to other states and Canada?
Yeah, I mean, the trend continues to move. I mean, in the beginning, there was lots of estimates about what percent of flower or even a pre-roll would make up versus a vape cartridge or an edible or things like shatter and wax. In our case, we are very much experts and specialize on extracts. So that's certainly been our primary focus. That's, again, where the market demand is. That's where the margins are, frankly. We still do very well with flower, but I would say that the production and the sale of the flower, the plant in its regular flower form, in our case is down to probably as low as 15% of THC products.
Great. Well, that's awesome, Brayden. It's great to have an introductory chat with you. We're going to come back to you in a quarter's time and see how you're making out. Thanks for your time today.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank God it's Friday.
It's Thursday.
TGI, I know, but tomorrow's Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Thank God it's Friday tomorrow, I was going to say, before I was so rudely interrupted, Ed. Anyways, TGIF. It's going to keep the symbol, but he's changed the name to 1933 Industries. And 1933 Industries is when alcohol prohibition ended in the United States, I guess. That's what it means. We didn't know. We couldn't figure it out. You'd think we would have got that. You would have think. You would have thought that we would have got it.
You would have think.
You would think you would have get. Never mind. Soft. What do you think about Cam Batley leaving the board of TGOD? A lot of speculation in the chat here. Some people seem to think it means that Aurora has lost confidence in TGOD. What do you think, Ed?
That's one of the reasons why I'm not much of a fundamental analyst, because I find that trying to keep track of all these facts is difficult to do.
You say facts with such contempt, you positively spit that out onto the floor. Let me tell you, good sir, the facts as they exist are nothing more than the reality. So anyways, I like to put out the idea, and I think I saw somebody else saying this on the comments in the YouTube group, that wouldn't...
How long has you been on the board for?
Since their first investment, they took 22%.
And
was that not even a year ago? I think it might be a precursor, and I can't say this unequivocally, and I have no intel on this. I'm just speculating. I think it could be indicative, as I saw somebody say here, that maybe that's the precursor to Aurora buying the rest of TGOD. What? Say it isn't so. Anyways, that doesn't, I don't really see that happening, though. Like, I don't know, why would you want to buy the rest of TGOD now before they've actually started building out and operating the majority of their interest? Maybe there's some other machinations behind the scene that we don't know about, Ed. That seems to be the case on most days, don't you think?
Yeah.
Don't you think? Don't you think?
Yeah. Yeah,
And
you
so
know, you
what's-
ask very difficult questions, and I'm just a guy that looks at charts, and maybe that's the easy way out. So I don't have to know a lot of stuff. I just look at the chart and say, hey, it's all in there.
Boy, I'm glad I don't have to say anything like that.
Yeah, well, you don't. You got me to say it.
Yeah, exactly. See?
Yeah,
you were saying that there was...
You know, going on boards, getting off boards. I mean, I don't know. Like, that's a very... It's hard to get someone off the board unless they resign. Is that usually how it works?
Well,
So he's probably was saying, listen, our work is done here.
Well, it depends. If you're trying to get the largest shareholder of the company off the board of directors and he's got the control position, good luck with that. Mind you, if you have a guy who's just taken the role of chairman of the board because he looks good in the position but doesn't actually own that much stock, he's easy to get rid of. You just say, hey, look, Larry, appreciate the time and effort. Thanks very much. Now, fuck off.
There was a big article today. I think I saw it in the Globe. Yeah, it was in the Globe. You mind if I just try to get that article from and I want to read it to you. Okay.
Oh, you're going to read me an article, are you?
Yeah.
But you're not going to read me the article about somebody saying that this is going to be bad for Canadian LPs, are you?
Yeah. How did you know?
Because I thought you somewhat described it, and I'm trying to figure out now what could possibly be being interpreted as being bad for
I think
Canadian
what they were
LPs.
saying was that anybody can grow marijuana.
Yeah?
So if anybody can grow it, why do you need a license?
Well, that's a good point.
Jesus.
Well, anybody could grow marijuana anytime they want, and they always can.
Yeah.
They always could have.
Yeah.
They've always done. Used to grow it by the truckload. Nobody had tried to stop me, except the cops, which didn't work. I think we fought the law and we won for a change. Gosh, I've got nobody to talk to. Jesus, Ed, look, you want me to babble to myself for another 13 minutes? I don't think I got it in me.
Well, you know, help is on the way. That means that Mighty Mouse
You're coming
is
back.
here to stay.
Oh, you're bringing your bag of tricks. Your bag of magic tricks. Wow, that's impressive.
That means
Boy, the
that
boys in the
Mighty
control
Mouse
room.
is on the way. Okay, so here. I want to see.
What do you got? Oh, you're actually going to whip out a newspaper. That's primitive. Oh, you got to put on those microscopes to see what's going on, do you? Look at cannabis. It says right there, cannabis. You know, it's interesting. My heart is warmed by the idea that all of these newspapers that have been so happy to publish criticism and contempt for cannabis and cannabis users for so many decades are now suddenly forced to endure so much humble pie just by...
Okay, here. This might be a reason. Just
Go for it.
only 3 weeks
Ontario announces
before.
bill to loosen restrictions on smoking cannabis in public. How would that be bad for growers?
It intends to reverse the province's strict rules on where cannabis can be consumed and will allow smoking it in public.
Yeah?
Now, this is news, James. This is a newspaper.
Yeah.
It publishes news.
You know, Ed, my entire life, people have been telling me that the government only decides where you can smoke weed in public. And you know what? I've been smoking weed in public since I was a teeny bopper.
Yeah, duh.
Yeah. Well, although smoking it in public is not really accurate because, you know, it's like going to the bathroom. You don't do that in public. I mean, you might use a public bathroom, but you're still in the bathroom. You're not going to the bathroom in public. Am I barking up the wrong tree? Am I still with you here?
I'm confused.
I think, you know, today would be a good day to start drinking again, considering all the blood in the streets. Let's go back to the blood in the streets look here.
I'm meeting, I'm meeting tonight for just a little...
Little what? Little sausage? Little nookie? Little pat on the ass?
No, Pat.
No, you're not meeting Pat?
Pat Bertrand would give you a pat.
No.
I don't
I'm
want
meeting
Pat. Jordan. I'm meeting Jordan Trimble.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just to say hello, and then I'm going to run into the train.
And where is he hanging his hat tonight?
We're going over to...
Key?
no, we're
John
going
and Sons.
No, keep guessing. Kelly's Landing.
Kelly's Landing?
Yeah.
Where the hell's that?
I'm not telling you. If you don't know, I'm
You're
not
not
telling
very
you.
helpful today, Ed. You gotta help me out with things.
Okay, Kelly's Landing's down here,
Okay.
block away, 2 blocks away.
I was looking at some of the articles that Ben had written here, and Acreage Holdings is coming to be public. He published an article on this. I just wanted to remark on that. Let's see, did I kill my NDI, and that's why I don't see anything on the screen? Oh no, there we are. So Acreage Holding, Kevin generously extended me an invitation, extended us an invitation to participate in the IPO round on the President's List.
Really?
So if you wanna,
What's the price point on that one?
$7, I think,
7.
or more. Yeah, it's
Have they done any other financings at lower prices?
all of them.
And
How
so,
much have they raised to date? Well, actually, this is what I like about Ben's piece here. He's actually, back then, Acreage Holdings secured $119 million of capital and concurrently completed the operational roll-up of positions in several U.S. states. So he's basically telling us that they've done a lot of capital raising in partnership with other guys. Was it at lower prices? It doesn't really go into that, but that's an interesting question. If let's see, I'm going to whack CDAR here, and if we do, look, there we are, watching us, watching you. Actually, let's say hello to our audience here because it's been very active in the comments section. DG, hello, James Heap, Reefer Al Joint is here. I smoke in the parlor, in the shower after hours. Love to do it, love to do it. Reefer AI or Al, Reefer Al Joint.
AI or
I don't know if it's AI or Al.
or AJ?
Reefer Al Joint, is it AI or is it Al? Good to know. Charlie Ear says that Cantrest got a cool beverage deal that nobody cared about. Good point, still don't care. No, just kidding. We haven't heard about that, have we? Let's see. I went to Garrett Turner, one of our viewers, says that he went to school with Jordan and his siblings. It's one incestuous community around here. The watchers, the viewers, the people on stage, the people in the control room. Hey, can we get a hello from the people in the control room for a change? Like you guys have been trying to hide out in there. We haven't heard from you in forever.
Are you guys in there smoking reefer?
Yeah, what are you doing in there? Good to see you up on the screen
Looks
here.
pretty foggy to me.
Look, it looks a little raw over here. Hey, there's everybody. Control room, Alex,
Okay.
control room, Alex 2, and Fraser.
You know what?
King of the control room. Hi,
See you later,
boys.
control people.
There we go. All right, you can go now. That was fun.
Oh,
But yeah, live from the control room.
maybe that's where we should put the printing press for
You know, we should
control
do
energy
We
in the
should do-
control room.
Control energy, the printing press.
Yeah.
Control energy. We didn't talk about control energy today. Well, we had him on yesterday, so
Tomorrow.
That's what I wanted.
Let's talk tomorrow.
No, but we had him. We had him
Let's
on.
talk to him now.
No, we
No,
just.
no, not talk to him. Let's talk about it right now.
What? Good point. What's the symbol? First, we'll start with the chart.
KNR.
KNR. Oops, what happened? Lost all the charts over there. KNR.
Also
All right.
wanted to look at if there's any follow through on High Hampton today.
Holy shoot! And suddenly you're full of ideas. It's a desert. Next thing you know, it's pouring rain. KNR. On
Next
the
thing you know,
CNX,
it's
right?
a Amazon.
Loading. Loading. There we go.
Wow.
Oh, you know I had a bid in there yesterday. I would have got filled today.
But you didn't keep it in.
See, this is the thing. When you see the wick dip like that, what's that telling you? It's telling you that you might as well throw in a stink bid and see if you get
Yeah.
filled because somebody's coming down the stairs.
Yeah, I
sold at 62 cents today.
Wow, look at that. That thing was up to $1.58.
Yeah.
And fundamentally, again, there's nothing wrong with this deal.
Well, this is the interesting thing is he says that he thinks that fair value. Well, I shouldn't disclose that. But anyways, let's just say that the CEO thinks his stock is undervalued.
Well,
He's the first of his kind to ever say that.
holy smokes.
But
Wow.
but then I looked at the financials at a $19 million run rate with like 30 million shares out. I think he might be right.
He probably is, and I'm not going to try and give you a reason why it may stay like that, but we're in a kind of a soft market, generally speaking. Like a lot of people don't really give a shit. On the other hand, if they can keep growing, I compare this a bit to Zebek. Remember Zebek?
Yeah.
Kurt Sarchak?
Yeah.
He was here.
Yeah.
Pitched it here
We
at
had a
30,
podcast
35.
with him, yeah.
It got to $1.05.
Really? And then what?
It's backed off a little, like 80,
No, but
85
it's still
cents.
up there.
Oh, no, it's still up there because he's doing things, but
Executing.
it's hard to go from a $5 million company to 10 million to 20 to 40 to 80. In other words, you can't double every year, can you?
Wow.
That was the whole thing about the biotech deal that went to zero ultimately.
Valiant?
Yeah.
Valiant didn't go to zero.
No, it didn't go to zero, but it basically gave back most of everything.
It became sub $10.
But they
I
kept
remember.
talking about like to grow at a double rate a year. Meant
Yeah.
they had to make monster acquisitions,
Yeah.
and the leverage ultimately.
Well, and then they started to get kinky with their constructive deals. And actually, you remind me of something that, we've been very hard on Andrew Left lately for his string of bad picks. But fair is fair. We got to point out that he was the one who first published a piece
Right.
called The Smoking Gun that pointed out this bodgy relationship that actually was the catalyst
Yeah.
for Valiant going almost to nothing.
Yeah.
And that actually established Andrew Left's career to the point where he's
Is
still got a newsletter.
is that his business? Is that his own thing?
He's got a real checkered history, like a lot of guys do in the industry, and
Just saying.
so
I got no problems.
To be fair, I'm just going to say I don't want to dwell on his past. He's trying to do good things. He hasn't had so much luck, but I think he's calling foul before he should.
Yeah.
In many cases.
Yeah.
But, like he called Aurora short long ago. Hello, $12 a share.
I know. You got to be careful in a bubble, because in a bubble, nothing makes sense until when it's finally does make sense, it's too late.
Right.
And we got to be careful here. Like
We got to be careful?
well, we got to be careful.
What do you mean? What are we doing? What's happening?
Well, we can't say, for instance, that indiscriminately stocks that have gone from, say, virtually nothing to a 400 million market cap, that they're easily going to go to a billion market cap. In other words, the number means something at some point.
True.
Like we saw Telray, why did it bust? Why did it go from 300? If it was such a great thing.
It was algo fueled when it took off, and
Yeah.
it was algo
Yeah.
fueled it was actually regulator fueled when it crashed.
Yeah.
And it was an anomalous stock in so many ways.
Right.
Because they did their IPO and put like a little sprinkle of shares out there, so nobody could get any shares, nobody
Yeah.
could sell any shares, you couldn't borrow any shares to go short. It was essentially.
But even the insiders couldn't have sold those shares, right?
No.
So why did they go through this? Just to make everybody tap dance?
Well,
Look at that.
Yeah, well, I think Tilray's betting on the long-term picture that when the market finally does start to compete on cannabis price, and these biosynthetic manufacturers that are popping up fill the entire supply chain for cannabis as an ingredient to edibles, pills, pharmaceuticals, etc., and the only market for premium dried flower. In other words, the only reason to grow the plant is this small 15% of the market that is the connoisseur of the dried flower. I think Tilray is sort of saying, well, most of these companies won't be able to survive because they don't have the capital structure, they don't have the financial backing, they don't have the global connections, they don't have the Silicon Valley investor set to back them up, and they didn't have anything to do with their stock taking off like that. The market took it there just because the, what was that? The anomaly.
Out of a Woody Allen movie.
Yeah, I know. What the hell? Where's Mia Farrow? Where's my daughter? That's not funny. Anyways, where was I? I don't know. I don't.
You know
remember.
what?
Anyways,
I think it's time to
have a drink. Jeez, Ed, that's water. It's very disheartening. I think we should go to John and Sons, and you should watch me drink beer. How's that?
I've got to go see Jordan.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm trying to get some business.
oh, hey, remind him that. What did I put in? 100 grand. Bought 100 grand of the private placement with Eric.
Aben.
Aben,
At what price?
30 cents.
Oh, it's well above,
Well below.
well below.
It's 33%
Well, okay,
lower.
let's it's 4:30.
It's 4:30. What does that mean? We're done here. We're done here.
We're-
We're done here. We'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you very much
Yeah.
for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe and like and all that bullshit, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.